My character said I'm evil and I do weird things.
Can I ask real quick before we get past it with the makeup thing? Because this is an iconic thing now. Like the look that you've created, it's everywhere. What was the inspiration? Like what was the design? How did you come up?
Well, the first one I ever did was for Southern Underground Pro in Tennessee, where they're like, hey, it's a Halloween show, do whatever you want. And that's where I kind of tested it. I did They Live makeup. So I did like the blue with the little red spots, everything, the ghouls. And then I switched over to do this band Converge. They have an album, Jane Doe, which is like kind of like a scary looking woman. It's very ambiguous. And then I switched that over because I was like, this is other people's things. So I can't just use them all the time. Like it's fun, but I need my own thing. My wife was, she's a burlesque dancer and she was doing Theater Bazaar. And it's a whole Halloween weekend in Detroit. And I'd done Pazuzu from The Exorcist. There's like when he flashes on the screen for a second, just that creepy face. I had done that makeup and I just went, and that's how I went to this Halloween party. And I was like, oh, this one's kind of cool. And I was like, also, I can kind of morph this one into my own thing. Right. So that started off as just straight up me copying the Pazuzu makeup from The Exorcist. And then eventually I was like, well, if I change this and this and this and this, it kind of made it more cartoony and made it my own version of it. And now I just have my own version.
Wow. Yeah, I like it though. And it's not real. It's not too busy. Like it's
so that was the problem that I had was when I first started doing it, I was adding like detail lines everywhere and like doing extra little spikes. And I was like, no. I was like, it needs to be clean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like King Diamond, I don't know why it makes me think of King Diamond for some reason.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Because it's the black metal makeup. But that's what people were saying. I'm like, no. I was like, I get relating it to that, but it's just straight up demon Pazuzu makeup.
Hey, so let me tell you, I keep thinking about this. It keeps popping into my head for you. Like I see you with the Svengoolie type show, your own like show where you're playing freaking like old shitty horror movie, like old, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, like before, like around the same time as Svengoolie, growing up in Tampa. Yeah. We had the original, like this is where Paul Bearer came from. We had this guy, Dr. Paul Bearer, and he drove around in a hearse all over town, and he had the makeup, and like he had this, like he would have breaks in between the horror movies, and he, have his little segments, and it was like Svengoolie. You know Svengoolie, right?
Yeah. So
it was like that.
This is very inspired by like Elvira and Conan O'Brien. Like mix those two things together and add the demon makeup, and that's kind of what that is like the whole Svengoolie, Elvira, Crypt Keeper, Space Ghost. It's like a mix of all of that stuff.
I think Ring of Honor could afford Svengoolie. I think that a Svengoolie like cameo with Danhausen, maybe pull PCO into that. I know you guys.
Svengoolie would probably love to do it. Like I don't want to speak for him, but he'd probably do it for.
Well, I'm here in Chicago. He comes when Mick Foley does his comedy show out in Rosemont.
He's a wrestling fan, right? Like,
yeah. I met him in the green room. He's a super cool guy. Yeah.
I've never met him, but people will tag and be like, "You need to do something with him," and I'm like, "I don't know him, so I don't want to just like." Hey,
no, dude, I see you having your own show like that where you're hosting like creature feature and all these,
That's the goal is to do something like that once I can't wrestle anymore.
Oh, that's good, man. Like
I try to have a backup, like because you can't wrestle forever. So like I want to have this character that I can just continue doing if I, God forbid, if I get injured and I can't wrestle anymore, just eventually.
Hey, so how did, once you started donning the makeup and developing the character, how did that affect your in-ring style and what you do in the ring?
So I still was under like with the evil character, like full on evil Danhausen. I was still trying to wrestle like hard. Like I was trying to go hard and like just wrestle still. This just kind of gave me an opportunity to, I don't want to say not have to wrestle because I was still very much trying to go, well, can we still do this and this and this? And people are like, we don't have to. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But like, I always kind of think of Gangrel is this way when he's at a show still. He's like, I don't want to, peel back the curtain too much, but he always wants to go super hard. And I'm like,
yeah, he does.
You don't have to. I'm like, you could just come out and spit blood and people will love it. And he's like, oh no. He's like, I want to do it all. I'm like, he's great. He's got a great attitude about that. But yeah, it's definitely easier on the body. with this character because I can just get away with like just doing goofy stuff, but I also try to still work hard. Like I want to show people that I can still go as this character while doing this character. I don't want it to, me to get lazy. I don't want to get lazy and just be like, cool, I'll come out and I'll do this and this and this and this. Yeah. Be done. I don't want to phone it in. But that's the thing. Like I can pick and choose these spots that the crowd like. If I know they're gonna love it, I'll do it because we're here to entertain the crowd.
Well, so have you ever heard the expression like, or just the saying that it's the shit you do in between the moves that's the real magic?
Yes, yeah. And
so like you could still do all the cool shit you want to do, man. It's just all the in between stuff is where you add your Danhausen.
Yes, which I don't like. I guess very good at doing that, the Danhausen stuff, where people are like, what do you want to do at the beginning of the show? And I'm like, you do your stuff. That's fine. I will just react to it and play with the crowd and play with you. And I was like, I don't have to do anything for the beginning, like of a match. Like it's just me being Danhausen is my shine. And that's it. Maybe I'll do something small at the end of it, but like, I don't need to do a run spot with you and do this and that. And like, it's not necessary. Other people are going to do that on the show. Let's make this match different.
So you haven't eventually I got things down to where I had like my 4 or 5 signature things and like I could build my match around that. What are your signature things that you build your match around right now?
So I do have those now and I'm learning how to place those better. I learned from like where I started kind of getting more popular in 2019. I started to get the Danhausen match down. I have the teeth. I have the tequila spot. I have the slingshot German spot, like and all that. And then just the beginning is just, again, me trying to figure out how to be goofy and trick you into falling out of the ring so then I can do the dance because it hypnotizes the crowd.
Gotcha.
Sing along with me. And then they empower me because I gain a bunch of energy from that. And, but yeah, so I would say, though, now it's a trick with Ring of Honor, figuring out how to integrate that stuff in a less silly way and a more realistic way.
Yeah. And that's fine. But like everyone else is doing that. Oh, I'm a serious wrestler, man. Like there's a million people doing that shit.
Yes. So I'm trying to evolve it a little bit so that way it still fits their product while still being true to what I'm doing. I try to never compromise that.
And I love recently, speaking of the characters, man, you've been bringing the Generico mask back. And Dude, I think that is so cool, man. That like I know that like you and Sammy work together on some pro wrestling T stuff, but I think it's so cool, man, that you have the cachet to be able to pull something off like that right now and be that.
Yeah. So that was thanks also to Austin Creed, Xavier Woods. He said that last. So that's how I got that shirt. I always try to credit him. He's so cool. He's so helpful. But yeah, I like to just, if I can have fun with it, because I know the crowd's going to like that. Like if I do something like that in front of a live crowd, then, let's do it. Let's have fun with it.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised to see you doing it when the no fans, like on the ROH TV stuff.
Oh, well, because here's the thing. People, if I don't have fans, I still have to make the most of it. So if my spot in the Battle Royal is come in and get tossed out, I want to be the most talked about spot in that Battle Royal.